Has Angel Reese, once hailed as a potential savior of women's basketball, already reached a breaking point in her career? That's the burning question sparking endless debates among fans, analysts, and casual observers alike. In the span of just a few short weeks, she's gone from being touted as an unstoppable force to becoming the focal point of a public firestorm. Some insist she's still the next big thing, simply undergoing early career turbulence. Others argue this spiral is proof she was never truly ready for the spotlight in the first place. The truth? It might be more complicated than either side cares to admit. No matter which perspective you adopt, there's no denying that Angel Reese has captured the sports world's attention. Her story is filled with incredible highs, heroic college performances, bold predictions about her professional future, and a commanding presence on social media that helped build her brand in record time. But as the saying goes, the brighter the spotlight, the harsher it can become. One mishap, one off game, can expose everything, from raw technical weaknesses to deeper personal struggles. Whether this saga ends with Reese standing triumphant or walking away in frustration is anyone's guess. For now, the only certainty is that her name has become the centerpiece of a new conversation about stardom, accountability, and the precarious nature of hype. Angel Reese didn't appear out of thin air. Long before the controversies, people spoke of her athletic dominance and fearless swagger. Even in high school, she was known for grabbing rebounds with ease, outmuscling opponents, and talking a confident brand of trash that got under rival players' skin. Scouts raved about her natural ability, noting how her physical presence could easily translate to success at the collegiate and professional levels. And sure enough, once she hit the college stage, heads began to turn. Those early glimpses of her potential weren't just about sheer athleticism. Reese also demonstrated an unmistakable competitiveness that drew fans in. She wasn't shy about calling out teammates or opponents. She had a knack for making any game feel personal, which, in many ways, fueled her performance. By the end of her college career, she'd racked up impressive stats, etched her name into highlight reels, and earned a vocal group of supporters who declared her the future face of women's hoops. The story took a dramatic turn when Angel Reese joined Unrivaled, a fledgling league heralded as the next big thing in women's basketball. Launched with ambitious aims, higher salaries for top players, shorter seasons with more intense matchups, and broadcast innovations, Unrivaled was supposed to be a revolutionary alternative to the WNBA's traditional model. Many believed it could address long-standing gripes about pay disparity and a perceived lack of promotion for star athletes. For Reese, the appeal was obvious. She'd been vocal about wanting to earn her true market value, claiming her brand was big enough to draw substantial audiences. Early promotional materials leaned heavily on her name and likeness. She appeared in flashy photo shoots promoting the league's electric atmosphere, touting it as a place where players could finally earn what they deserved. Fans took notice. After all, who wouldn't want to witness a new league built around bold personalities and star-level showdowns? Everything changed in one pivotal game, a matchup that was billed as Reese's big moment. Leading up to it, she'd spoken openly about how she intended to send a message, not just to her critics but to the world. Fans streamed into the arena, some wearing custom shirts featuring her likeness, and the crowd, though small, buzzed with anticipation. Online, social media crackled with excitement, hashtags calling for a breakout performance that would validate all the hype. In the opening minutes, however, something seemed off. Reese missed a straightforward layup unusual for a player of her caliber. Then she committed a careless foul while trying to strip the ball in the backcourt. Each passing minute, the mistakes piled up, another missed shot, another ill-timed reach-in foul, and a visible frustration creeping across her face. What happened next felt surreal. After disagreeing vehemently with the referee's call, Reese picked up a technical foul for shouting in protest. Instead of stepping back and regaining her composure, she marched toward the official again following the next play, unleashing more heated words. In a flash, the ref signaled a second technical. Reese, who had entered the game with so much confidence, found herself ejected within the first 7 minutes. In the hours following the game, the internet lit up with hot takes, memes, and pointed criticisms. Some fans rushed to defend her, arguing the referee had been overly sensitive or prejudiced. Others gleefully took aim at Reese's outspoken persona, accusing her of talking a big game but failing to deliver when it mattered most. Hashtags like #AllDramaNoDominance began to trend, fueling an environment of mockery and derision. Rather than using the moment to show humility or reflect on her performance, Reese took to social media with cryptic posts, suggesting there were bigger forces at play. One particular tweet hinted at a racial motive behind her ejection, stoking an even more volatile debate. The timing on the first day of Black History Month led some supporters to argue she might have a valid point. Detractors, however, accused her of deflecting blame and undermining genuinely important social issues by invoking them to explain an otherwise preventable meltdown. Unrivaled's management wasn't happy about the fallout. They'd banked on Angel Reese as a headliner, hoping her large following would bring in new fans. Yet suddenly, the public discourse wasn't about the league's fresh approach or potential. It revolved around a single player's meltdown and the claims of bias. Even more troubling was the fact that ticket sales and viewership hadn't spiked from the controversy. If anything, casual fans seemed turned off by the drama. Whispers emerged that the league was in trouble. Some games were drawing abysmal crowds, often only a few hundred spectators in a venue built for thousands. Online streaming numbers were lukewarm. Worse yet, rumors spread that some key sponsors were getting nervous, uncertain if the league could deliver a return on their investments. A meltdown from one of Unrivaled's biggest names was the last thing they needed. While Angel Reese battled negative headlines, another name kept surfacing: Caitlin Clark. She represented a polar opposite in nearly every way. Clark focused on consistent, high-level performances. She kept any personal or social controversies to a minimum. Sponsors loved her clean, skill-centric image, and so did fans who wanted to see results over rhetoric. Clark had also famously declined a lucrative offer from Unrivaled. Sources whispered that she'd been offered upwards of $1 million, money far exceeding typical WNBA salaries. Still, she walked away, citing doubts about the fledgling league's ability to sustain itself. Instead, Clark continued her dominant run in the established basketball landscape, drawing larger and larger television audiences each time she played. The irony here is that a rivalry between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese could have been monumental for the sport. Imagine if both players had joined Unrivaled, two dynamic talents squaring off regularly in the same league. The hype around their matchups could have drawn in casual sports fans, pumped up broadcast numbers, and made Unrivaled a genuine competitor to other major basketball leagues. Instead, Clark turned down the offer, and Reese became the central figure of a league struggling to find its footing. On social media, fans constantly debate who's better or more influential. Clark supporters point to her impeccable stats and endorsements, while Reese supporters mention her commanding presence, her no-holds-barred persona, and her potential to bring attention through sheer force of personality. Even so, the gulf between them seems to be widening every week, at least in the public eye. One thrives off skill and consistency, the other wrestles with controversies and questions of maturity. All of this unfolds at a time when women's basketball is on an upswing. College games have set new attendance and viewership records. The WNBA has seen growing interest, spurred by more visibility across major networks and a push for expanded rosters. Brands are increasingly willing to sponsor talented players, recognizing that fans do care about women's sports when given a reason to tune in. Yet the sport's progress can be fragile. In a world driven by media cycles, a few negative headlines can derail a positive narrative. Fans who genuinely care about women's basketball want the focus to be on athletic excellence and the remarkable skill sets these athletes bring to the court. They want success stories, players who dominate the game and also carry themselves in ways that elevate the sport's profile. In that sense, Caitlin Clark is serving as a model, a blueprint of how to maintain momentum. Meanwhile, Angel Reese's potential is in danger of being eclipsed by the controversies swirling around her. One thing's certain, the journey ahead for Angel Reese and women's basketball as a whole will be anything but boring. And whether you're rooting for her redemption, reveling in her struggles, or simply curious to see how this chapter ends, you'll want to keep watching, because when reputations are on the line, every game becomes a must-see event, and every move can be the one that defines a legacy. Until next time, keep one eye on the scoreboard and the other on the headlines. In a rapidly changing landscape, the line between hero and villain can shift in an instant. How Angel Reese navigates that line might just shape the future of the sport and her place within it.